Well, let's bring in our Jerusalem correspondent, Irris Makler, live on the programme now. Irris, what is your understanding of what happened this morning?
We have two, as usual, or as often is the case, two competing narratives. We hear from the Palestinian side, the Hamas-run health ministry in Gaza, saying now 19, initially 40 people it thought were dead. Now 19 bodies have been recovered from that area, and it makes no distinction between civilians and combatants. So we are not able to tell how many of each were killed in this strike. In Al-Mawasi, which is an area near the beach, which has been designated by Israel a safe zone. So basically, it's an attack against tents, not buildings as such. From the Israeli side, we hear that there were Hamas militants who actually placed themselves inside the safe zone in order to fire at Israeli troops and fire rockets into Israel. So that is what we have heard so often before, Nadia, these two different versions of events, Hamas hiding itself in a safe zone or Israel attacking a safe zone without much reason. Israel says that it did target and it believes it did assassinate 3 Hamas operatives, high-ranking militants who were in the safe zone along with the civilians.
Irris, take us at the same time to what's happening in Israel, where you are, because there have been some recordings released which detail a rather angry conversation between Benjamin Netanyahu, the Israeli Prime Minister, and the father of a hostage whose body was recovered in Gaza last week. Just tell us a bit about this story.
That's right. Benjamin Netanyahu has been trying to see the families of the hostages. Not all of them have agreed to see him. This family did agree to see him, a religious family, you could even say a right-wing family. And the recording was released of a very angry exchange in which the family is saying to Benjamin Netanyahu, you have been Prime Minister for 15 years. You didn't take care of Hamas when they were a small organisation. They turned into a large organisation. We saw October the 7th. You built the tunnel, said the distraught father. You built the tunnel that my son was murdered in. So that kind of exchange, plus the fact that we have seen, that kind of exchange is putting pressure on the Prime Minister. Israel's military released footage of the size of that tunnel that those 6 hostages were held in their last days before they were executed there. You couldn't sit, you couldn't stand. There was no running water of any kind. They peed in bottles for the sake of their own health and safety. One of the girls weighed 36 kilos at her death. It was very, very tough conditions. And I think this is being put to the government. That exchange with the father is being broadcast on Israeli television as pressure on this government to reach some kind of deal with Hamas in Gaza, because at the same time, the other areas, the conflict is escalating on the border with Lebanon, inside the West Bank. And 2 days ago, we saw an attack which turned out to be a suicide attack in effect on the border with Jordan, in a place that is usually incredibly quiet. So all of that escalation is another reason or another impetus for a ceasefire deal and a hostage deal in Gaza.
Irris Makler live in Jerusalem. Thank you.